Oh man, you guys should be so proud of me making a second video in the same year. Going places. Hello, welcome back to Nicolect. My name is Nicole and this is my intellect. Oh man, I'm so weird. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about my complete hair profile. So I figured since I'm going to be making more videos about my hair that I should probably give you guys an idea of what my hair is overall. I wanted to go over my hair type, the texture, the density, the porosity, the width. I figure if I give you guys a full idea of what my hair is, then moving forward when I talk about how I take care of my hair, it won't seem so weird and confusing because obviously my hair is going to be different from everyone else's, and what I do in my videos might not be the same as what another girl does in her videos or what you do with your hair. So I think it'll be best if I just make a whole video on my hair profile and what I think it is, and so that way moving forward we understand each other. Okay, so I wanted to start with the curl pattern. So I'm sure everyone knows by now that there are different curl patterns. There is, one which is straight hair, two wavy hair, and then you have the threes which are curly hair, and then you have the fours which is like the kinky coily hair. So based on all the charts I've seen and all the descriptions of the different curly hair types, I've just kind of had to gauge what mine is. As you can see, if I get a little closer, you can see my curls. It's kind of hard to determine what my curl pattern is by this side. It's a little more, my sides are damaged, but the front is it's more healthy. And I think the back is healthy too. Actually, I should show you guys. But basically this is what the back. So I've determined from looking at all these charts, I would say that it is around a 3C 4A curl pattern. I feel like it's in between because some of the charts are very confusing. Sometimes they'll show a 3C photo and then a different chart shows hair that looks similar to that and it's a 4A. I would say that it is closer to 4A hair. The curls are very tight. I showed you guys the back. It's really tight back there, but it is wash day, so everything looks nicer and it's laying down. It's actually still kind of damp at the roots, but the ends are pretty dry. So basically you can see how tightly coiled it is. And then I showed in my last video me pulling it down how much the stretch is on it. So I would say 4A, or at least in between a 3C and a 4A, I would say. So we're going to move on to hair porosity and what I think mine is. So I'm sure we all know by now because there's thousands of videos and charts and diagrams on it, but hair porosity is basically how your hair absorbs and retains moisture. Most people talk about the 3 different porosities. There's high, medium, and low. Looking at all the charts on porosity, I don't feel like it's very scientific. Like, I feel like hair professionals and people who actually study hair probably don't determine hair porosity that way, but we're just gonna go with what the mainstream is talking about. How I figured out my hair porosity is basically reading up on the characteristics. I don't really believe in the tests. So we all know the most popular test is the cup of water with a strand of hair in it. And some people say you take a strand of hair from your brush, which I think can't be right because the hair in my brush is like crusty, old, dead, gross, oily, like broken off hair, and I feel like that doesn't determine the healthy strands that I have on my head. So I don't know, I don't think hair from a brush really determines your good hair. There are some people that say take a strand from your head and put it in a cup of water. So I tried that. I took a strand of my hair, put it in a cup of water, and it floated. So I thought that was weird because I feel like, I'm pretty sure my hair is not low porosity. So I was like, okay, so I went to my boyfriend and took a piece of his hair. I asked him, he gave me a strand of his hair. His hair is not like mine. He has blonde hair and it is straight. So he gave me a strand of his, I put it in the cup of water and it floated. So I was like, well, pretty sure we don't have the same porosity. So then I took a cat hair from our cat. I took strands of dog hair from our dogs and I put it in the water and they floated as well. So I've determined that hair cannot break the surface tension of water. They all just, if you just drop them in there, they just float on top. They don't do anything. So maybe I'm doing the test wrong. I don't know. I feel like all the hairs I have found in this household has floated on top of water. And I just really don't believe that that's how you determine hair porosity. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. So then another popular test is taking a strand of hair, right, that's on your head, still connected, and running your finger up and down it so that you can feel the strands, like you could feel whether the hair is a low porosity where the hair would be, you know, smooth, so it would feel smooth, or a high porosity where your hair is like, I guess the strands are like this, and it will feel a little more rough. Once again, I don't think one hair on my head is the same as all the hairs on my head, because I'm pretty sure this side of my hair is a little more damaged, and it really does feel more rough here and more, I guess, more smooth around here, but they all kind of have a texture to it. But I don't know what determines normal porosity, because the normal porosity is going to have hair strands kind of like this, maybe slightly. And the high porosity is going to be really, I guess, it's going to feel really texturized. But how do I determine if it's normal texture feeling or not? So I don't know. I just feel like those tests are really hard to determine whether it's high or low porosity. So let me just go over the characteristics. Low porosity has a long dry time. It has lots of buildup. It's oily looking, I guess. And it takes long to get it wet. So then the high porosity, it dries fast. It feels dry. It's frizzy and dull. And it wets like really fast. So, you know, you put water on it, it saturates really quickly. So then normal porosity is like in the middle of those. So it's absorbs and holds moisture easily. It has nice elasticity and bounce. So it's basically the best of both worlds. So it's hard for me to determine because I feel like I have characteristics from both high and low porosity and the normal. So basically, let me tell you which on the list is more like my hair based on dealing with it every day. My hair, it does take a long time to dry, but at the roots, the ends dry pretty fast, especially the ends on the right side of my hair. This is like the most, I don't know why, this side of my hair is super damaged. And I really think it's because I sleep on the right side. I sleep on my side and on the right side of my head. And I feel like all the pressure on that hair has, I don't know, has damaged the curls, because it doesn't even like really curl. Back to what I was talking about. I actually do experience a lot of buildup. I cannot use oil in my hair. Like, I'll have to shower the next day and shampoo it out. Like it just doesn't, oil just builds up too much on my hair. Yet my hair does feel dry all the time. Like once my hair completely dries, it just never feels moisturized to me. I feel like I can never moisturize it enough. Yet when I put oil on it, it's like, it just sits there, and it literally, if I just barely touch my head, it's like all over my hand, like my hair doesn't absorb it, and it's just buildup. So it's like, what do I do? My hair doesn't, it looks shiny, but like I said, on this side, it is that frizzy, dull look. And kind of this side sometimes too, because like I said, I sleep on my side, so I'm pretty sure the sides are a little more damaged than the healthy looking front and back of my hair. My hair does take a long time to wet. It does not wet fast. It does take a long time. When I jump into a pool or the ocean or whatever and I come to the surface, my hair is not completely wet like most people are. It's like part of it's still dry. Like I have to really sit under the water for it to take a while. And the same with the shower. I really have to like use tons of water in the beginning to really get my hair wet. So see how it doesn't make sense to me, like what my hair porosity is, because I have characteristics from both sides of the board. What I have determined is that my hair is, for the most part, normal. I would say it's experiencing both sides, normal to maybe high porosity, simply because the certain sections of my hair seem to be prone to damage more than others. And I think when I describe the rest of my hair characteristics, it'll make sense why it gets damaged easily. But for sure, I would say the sides feel like they're more high porosity. But everything else seems pretty healthy and normal, even though I feel like I can never moisturize enough. But then again, when I use oil, it's too much. So I feel like my hair is in the middle. I feel like for the most part, it's normal. I don't use color, chemical, nothing on my hair. So how could it be that damaged? And for the first 2 years that I grew it out, I didn't use heat either. So I feel like my hair is more normal because it doesn't have such damage to be high porosity. In conclusion of porosity, I think my hair for the most part is normal. Okay, so next I wanted to talk about density. Density is how many strands of hair there are like per square inch. So I guess a way you can determine this, a lot of people from the interwebs have said that, you know, if your hair is just as it is, like mine, out of the shower clean, this is naturally how it is. If you can see the scalp, then you know, you have like a low density, and then there's normal, and then there's high density. Like if you can't see the scalp at all, it's high density. So that's how I understand it. And as you can see, at no point can you see my scalp. No matter what angle, it's just no. So obviously my hair is going to be high density, or at least that's what I think. Okay, so lastly, we're going to talk about the width of my hair. So when it comes to width, it's going to be by individual strand. And basically, I guess that's classified by, you know, having thin hair or having thick hair, which I think people kind of confuse with density, but really thin and thick hair have to do with the individual strands. So it's really the width of the strands. So how you can determine this is taking a strand of hair from your head and holding it up, I guess in the light. And if you can barely see it, your hair is thin. And if it's like a nice, thick, solid strand, then obviously it's thick. Again, based on what the internet has told me, I took a strand, and when I hold it up to the light, I can barely see it at all. So I'm pretty sure my hair is thin. And I mean, I didn't just like take one loose strand. I mean, I've pulled several. I mean, loose hair comes out all the time. I've pulled from several, and they're all super thin. So I think I have very thin strands, which is why I think my hair is more prone to damage. I mean, to have damage on one side just because you mostly sleep on that side, like that seems excessive. So that's why I think my hair is thin, because it like damages so easily. It breaks off easy. Like I have to comb very gently because I don't have those thick, healthy strands that could take, you know, the combing. Like when I use a wide tooth comb, it has got to be like baby soft, like I am combing a baby's head, so that I don't break off these thin hairs. So yes, I believe my hair is thin. So just to kind of wrap up the whole thing and what I've concluded about my hair is about a 4A. It is a normal porosity. and it is very dense, high density, but it is also thin. The strands are thin. So that is my entire hair profile. And like I said, I determined this from reading up numerous articles, watching many YouTube videos, learning as much as I can based on dealing with my hair daily since I chopped it off about 2 years ago, dealing with it daily, kind of getting to know it and knowing how it is. That is what I determined my hair profile to be. I don't know if I go to a hairstylist and ask them what it is, how they would determine it, or if they even do determine it. I mean, I'm not a professional. I'm pretty sure the way they do things, the way they classify things is different than what we're reading on the internet. All right, so that is everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely just wanted to clear it up and let it be known what my hair is, or what it most likely is based on what I've been dealing with for the 2 years since my big chop. And like I said, the reason I wanted to share this is because I feel like later on in videos I'm going to be talking about how I care for my hair and how I do things, and I'm pretty sure people do it anyway, but I don't want people to be like, oh, that's not right, you shouldn't be doing that. No, like, I mean, all of our hair is different, and what works for some of these girls, like, does not work for me at all. So I kind of had to come up with my own method based on how my own hair is. So that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to let it be known. All right, so I will see you guys in the next video. Done. Finished.